lot of you have some chemistry sessions, study sessions, review sessions. It's that time of year. They're going to happen for all your classes, or most of your classes and stuff. So take advantage of them. They are very helpful. Seek outside tutoring, meet your professors, office hours. I'm sure you've heard all this before, but they are vital, and they're proven to be effective. So good luck on these first rounds of tests. And remember what I told you at the kickoff event. Doesn't go your way, just see it as an opportunity and what you can do better next time around. Don't let a poor result affect your mindset that it's the end all be all. Oh my God, I just screwed up my entire existence at UT Austin. Don't think that way, please. Again, failure can be an opportunity. This is only the first rounds of tests. This is only your first semester. Think about the long haul. Think about the big picture. All right, so tonight, I can't wait. I love this lecture or this presentation, Leadership Speaker Series presentation each fall semester, because it's something that's very dear to me, very important for me. I'm going to share with you next week when I tell you a little bit more about myself and my personal life, that service has always been an integral part of who I am. High school, university life, and I took a year off after college and I did volunteer work in downtown Seattle, working with the homeless with the Jesuit Volunteer Corps for a year-long commitment. So that means it means something to me. So I want you, when you start thinking about service, as you already did when you watched the pre-lecture assignment with the Malala interview from the Daily Show, I wanted you to make it meaningful for yourself. Find something that's important to you and something you want to affect, impact. And I mentioned this before too. Please don't see this as a checklist item. Okay, I got 10 hours for this semester. I'm good to go with that service thing. No, I don't want you guys to see it that way. Make this as a part of your UT experience, and I guarantee it'll be rewarding for you. I've heard some great stories from students who go and do service and it changed their lives. So keep all that in mind as you listen to our guest speaker this evening. So Square Cap, everybody should be logged in, get ready to go. Before I do that, because I'm going to have somebody help me with this, I'd like to introduce you to Paula Michelle Ochoa. She goes by Michelle.
Hi guys, I'm Michelle. I'm the first year coordinator assistant, John's assistant. So probably some of you have seen some of my comments on your assignments, Canvas assignments. So this is my internship, my experience, my learning experience, I guess that's how you call it, guys. I just want to let you guys know about what I'm doing right now as my internship. So what I do with John is that I help him here with like Square Cap questions. I check your guys' pre-lectures. I see whether you guys are attending these speaker series, if you guys are answering like the pre-lecture excitement, your quizzes, if you guys are actually like investing yourselves in this program, because it's really important. I mean, ULN has done so much for me, and it's gonna be a really, really good time for you guys spending this time here with ULN. So if you guys see any emails from me or like little notes on your assignments, just to let you guys know, it's kind of like me and John here, co-workers. So if I'm like telling you guys, hey, please, you need to finish doing this, or please finish your pre-lecture, or put a little bit more in your assignment, it's because John is kind of like letting me know that you guys need to finish this stuff. So, but yeah, if you guys need anything, I'm also like John's assistant. So if you guys have any questions, you need to, John's not available because he has like a ton of stuff to do during the week. I also have like little office hours during the week in case you guys want to meet with me, or to ask some more questions about ULN, or maybe you missed the lecture and you want to know more about what you can do. Well, I'm kind of here for you guys too. So here I am.
Excellent. Thank you, Michelle. I'm really excited to have her on staff. because I really do need the assistance. But Michelle's got great work ethic, and she just really has initiative and goes in there, and I don't really have to explain a lot of stuff. So her presence is very vital, and she's a resource as well. She's a Texas 19 student. She's been through all this before too, and she's pretty knowledgeable about stuff. It's the reason why I hired her for the position. So take advantage of that. She's there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings from 9 to 11:30. If you ever need to stop in and ask a question about anything. But yeah, she is going to be working as an extension through me. So if you see something from her, it means I've asked her to reach out to you about that. So that's the way it's going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and get Square Cap going for you.
So, which social issue most resonates with you as something you may want to get involved in? So, let's see. In my opinion, well, all of them are really important. So, I guess it all depends on where you come from and what you think about the situation that's going on right now. I guess, yeah, what you've been through mostly, like what you've seen throughout your life so far, or what you think is most important right now as like in your community. But ooh, some good responses. Oh yeah, guys, also if you're having some trouble getting into the UT Wi-Fi, also let us know at the end of the lecture, because then you'll get flagged that you're not using the UT Wi-Fi. So to make sure that you guys are present, just let us know at the end, me or John, so we can like check you off of that.
Okay, so she does make a good point that I want to expand upon a little bit, because we've been already getting I've been getting some emails and stuff about absences and things like that. So while Square Cap is running, so we can capture some responses, and I really do want to get Amory talking pretty soon. Again, remember, absences. If you can't be here, you have to notify me beforehand. Before. Also, it has to be legit for academic, health, or family reasons, family emergencies, things like that. When you are absent, whether excused, that you notified me ahead of time, or after and you didn't notify me, you still have to do the makeup assignment. You still have to do the makeup assignment. If you're here and you had an issue with Square Cap and it did capture your attendance, then you don't have to do that makeup assignment. But that makeup assignment is for those who are not present. So that goes for Longhorn band members and those with academic conflicts. Quick note to Longhorn band members, I'm sorry about all the room assignment issues. Yes, I'm looking at the camera. If you still have some confusions where you're supposed to be, talk to your mentors or come talk to me and stuff, we'll sort it out. But everything should be good to go, I think. The makeup assignment that's in Canvas is not a replacement for this lecture. You just can't say, oh, I'm not going to go, I'll just do the makeup assignment. No, that's an absence. You'll be counted as absent. So remember, your makeup or your peer group sessions, you have to contact your mentor. Orange shirts, you see the orange shirts? You have to contact them, say, hey, I need a makeup session for this week. Something's going on my regular meeting time. When can I go? They'll sign you up for a makeup session. You cannot make up a peer group meeting after the week is over, because the next week it's new material. So that prior week would be an absence. Is everybody clear on that? On the policies and stuff? You guys have been fantastic, by the way, getting your assignments in as well. A few of them have been late, but I'm not going to penalize you if they're still within the scholarship review period. Try not to let them go more than a week out, because then that could affect your scholarship as well. And you guys have given me some good stuff on the pre-lecture for this week, in reaction to the Malala interview, the number one reflection that we handed out with the kickoff event. You guys are just sending me some awesome material. I'm enjoying reading it. I'm not going to be able to comment on every assignment. I'm sorry. I do read through them, and I will grade them, but I can't comment on every one. So Michelle's going to help out with that a little bit too. So, all right, that's enough with nuts and bolts and policy procedures. Looks like Square Cap's running nice and smoothly, so we'll just close that down for the session. Tonight we have a person who's come out and assisted us with our service-oriented component for ULN for the last several years. She's a respected member of the campus community, and she works over at the Leadership and Ethics Institute. LCA, Longhorn Center for Academic Achievement. Wait, community engagement. I always get those two offices mixed up. I have no idea why. But she's also instrumental in getting an outside vendor to come work with UT directly with a system called GivePulse. So some of you have already kind of seen Give Pulse. What we're going to do is send you an official invitation to join our Give Pulse group so you can look for opportunities of service on there. And this is also where you're going to be logging your community service hours. Your mentors can help you with this as well, since they used it already all last year. But Amory is going to talk about Give Pulse a little bit and why we use it, but also in a more broader perspective to have you consider service in a different way. So enough of me talking. Here is Amory Baril.
Hi, everyone. Oh, you sound so enthusiastic. Happy Tuesday. Hi, everyone. Hey. Whoever that was, star for the day. Woohoo. All right, like John said, my name is Amory Baril. I work right across the street in Student Services in the Longhorn Center for Community Engagement. We are essentially the volunteer center for campus. So we focus on everything and anything relating to service, inside the classroom, outside the classroom, and most of all, our overall goal is to connect the resources of UT, the manpower of UT, anything that UT can offer to be a good citizen of the city of Austin. So we try to connect those resources to the community in any way that we can to be a good member of the Austin communities. Excuse me. I'm getting over a cold, so if my voice starts cracking and sounds weird, I apologize. So that's what's going on, but in my personal life. But here at UT every day, my role is really to advise student organizations to help develop leaders that are interested in working towards social change, which is what I'm going to be talking about today. So our goal, the presentation for today is how to be a social change agent. And I don't have instructions for this. I am not going to give you a roadmap to this. But I'm sort of, through the context of leadership, going to talk about the idea of being a social change agent and maybe give you a few steps to get started, and definitely try to help connect you to the Austin community. Does anybody know the core purpose of the University of Texas? You probably walk by it every day on West Mall. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Is critical thinking. Is that it?
That I think is one of them probably. That's one of the core values, I think, close. Well, there's 5 core values, but there's one core purpose. Yeah, in the back? That's a good one, but that's the motto. Yeah, right here. Close. How about up back here? Yeah. You got it. Way to go. Yep. So well done, all of you. There's a lot of things that UT lives by, turns out. The motto helps with some things. The core values help with some things. To me, what really resonates to me is the core purpose, and that is to transform lives for the benefit of society. UT really sees itself as part of a larger whole. One of their founding principles was to educate the people of Texas, and so they see themselves as a really integral part of the state of Texas, creating knowledge within the state, making the state better through education, through educating you all, getting your degrees here, and then working towards bettering yourselves and society in Texas and beyond. So I think that is a good founding principle. It's a good foundational idea for why you're here, and something that is sort of now incumbent upon you as members of the Longhorn community, that you are now part of this institution, and you're part of a community that really, in many ways, can transform society. You have a lot of opportunity here, and you're getting hopefully connected to this community, and that will lead to connections to whatever community that you're a part of in the future. So just to get started, does anybody have any thoughts or comments about the Malala video, the Daily Show video that y'all watched? Anything that stuck out to you? I know you wrote about it. What? 16. She's 16. Yeah. That's impressive, right? Yeah. Anything else? Yeah. Yeah. How many of you have ever risked your life for a cause? I mean, that's not something that people just do every day, right? Anybody else? Uh-huh.
Done to her, and she thought, instead I'm going to this, how I feel and how I believe, and if you want to hurt me, you can, but I'm not going to hurt you back.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's one of the most powerful parts of her message, that she took what was coming towards her and she said, I'm choosing not to to act towards you the same way that you're acting towards me. And she really had a lot of maturity in that way, and a lot of, I guess, foresight into the bigger picture and her overall goal in what she was trying to accomplish. All right, so to get started, like I said, I'm kind of putting this in the context of leadership, because I think that you don't have to be a leader to make social change or be part of a social change, but I think a little bit inherent in that is, if you are acting to create social change, you are putting yourself in a position where others will see that and will look to you. And I think creating social change, you want other people to follow you. And so I think leadership and social change really go together. All right, so taking a step back and looking at the big picture really quick. Management versus leadership. Differences? Can you think of any differences? Yeah. Sure. Management, you're just in charge of people and you're not maybe part of the team. Yeah.
I would say that management is more, people are in a management position, don't really have the integrity to ask to be collaborative with people. I guess kind of what she said.
Yeah.
But in leadership, what you try to do is try to, collaborate. You try to make compromise. A manager doesn't really ask for that.
Yeah. Maybe a leader cares. Sure. So a lot of, yeah. And right here. Yeah.
Management lacks innovation.
Sure. Okay. So, go ahead. One more.
You can be appointed a manager, but you can't be appointed a leader. That's something you have to choose for yourself.
Yeah. So kind of what all of you said is that there's a little bit of humanization in leadership, that you have to be appointed into a leadership role. You get selected or you get put into a managerial role, that there's innovation in leadership, that leaders care. It seems like you think there's a little bit something extra, I guess, in that leadership. So my definition here is that if you look at the bottom part, leadership implies intentionality. It's directed toward some future condition that is valued or desired. So it's not just status quo. In a management position, you're just checking things off a list. In a leadership position, you're working towards a goal and you're trying to get everybody to believe in that goal, maybe, to get there. It's more of a process, I guess. Okay, so now I want to take it to this idea of servant leadership. And this is sort of addressing the social change piece of this. So what do you think? Does somebody want to read what's in the white? Brave soul, want to read out loud? Yeah.
The difference manifests itself in the care taken by the servant. First, to make sure that other people's highest priority needs are being served. Do those served grow as persons? Do they, while being served, become healthier, wiser, freer, more autonomous, more likely themselves to become servants? And what is the effect on the least privileged in society? will they benefit or at least not be further deprived?
Yes. So this idea of servant leadership, and in general the study of leadership, became a big deal at the end of the 70s. And this man, you can see the little orange square up there, that's the cover of a book, which I think just looks very 70s, but it's by a man named Robert Greenleaf, who wrote this book called The Servant as Leader. And it introduced this idea into larger society that leadership doesn't have to be positional. It doesn't have to be given to you. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be appointed into it or selected into it. You don't have to have an official title to be a leader. That you can lead from anywhere. That this idea of servant leadership is really about the idea that you identify something that needs to happen and you gather other people to help make it happen. And that really, I think, hits at the heart of social change in that oftentimes it's not started by people who are in appointed leadership positions. It's not started by people who are holding the power. It is started by people who just have a vested interest or are made to sort of feel like they have to do something in order to change the situation that they're in or that they see. And so I think this is a sort of a really powerful form of leadership, and one that is often underestimated because one of the other, I think, general characteristics of servant leaders is that they're not loud. They're not generally the people who are, the ones who are out in front of everybody trying to say, I'm a leader, I want you to follow me. Although that's really valuable and really necessary in building a movement, generally, I think there are a lot of people, probably that you can think of, if I were to ask you right now, who would be a good model servant leader. Can any of you think of examples? It's a good question, actually. Examples of people that you think are servant leaders? Oh, yeah. Doctors. Who? Doctors. Why? Yeah. Have you ever heard the term the helping professions? So there's a lot of professions, counselors, social workers, a lot of people in the medical fields are kind of lumped in this category called the helping professions. And it tends educators, people who are kind of drawn to the idea of helping others always for their professional life. It's a good example. Anybody else? Yeah, in the plaid. Ministers. Oh, ministers, yeah. How about you? Yeah, I think that's kind of an invisible one. It's visible while you're at a university, but there's a lot of things, almost everything in business is based on research, right? And maybe they're not always credited. In the back? Yeah. Teachers? Why? Yeah, simple. Yep. Yes, over here.
Police officers and military.
Why?
Because, especially for police officers, they're not really, praised very often, publicly, and they do a lot for us. Yeah, there's a lot of things that servant leaders do that is not public, for sure. All right. I have a quick video. And then we're going to talk about this. Have any of you ever heard of Simon Sinek? Oh, have you already seen this? Maybe? Nope, it's not the Golden Circle. Okay, great. So you're familiar with this guy. That's good. So I won't introduce him since you already are all fans. But I love him, and this is something... It's a video called Why Good Leaders Make You Feel Safe, but this is just a little snippet of what I think is a great example, a couple of examples about servant leadership.
The reason we like flying Southwest Airlines It's not because they necessarily hire better people, it's because they don't fear their leaders. You see, if the conditions are wrong, we're forced to spend our own time and energy to protect ourselves from each other. And that in turn weakens the organization. When we feel safe inside the organization, we will naturally combine our talents and our strengths and work tirelessly to face the dangers outside and seize the opportunities. The closest analogy I can give to what a great leader is like being a parent. If you think about what being a great parent is, what do you want? What makes a great parent? We want to give our child opportunities, education, discipline that are necessary, all so that they can grow up and achieve more than we could for ourselves. Great leaders want to do exactly the same. They want to provide their people opportunity, education, discipline as necessary, build their self-confidence, give them the opportunity to try and fail, all so that they can achieve more than we could ever imagine for ourselves. Charlie Kim, who's the CEO of a company called NextJump in New York City, a tech company, he makes the point that if you have hard times in your family, would you ever consider laying off one of your children? We would never do it. Then why do we consider laying off people inside our organization? Charlie implemented a policy of lifetime employment. If you get a job at NextJump, you cannot get fired for performance issues. In fact, if you have issues, they will coach you and they will give you support, just like we would with one of our children who happens to come home with a C in school. It's the complete opposite. This is the reason so many people have such a visceral hatred, this sort of anger at some of these banking CEOs with their disproportionate salaries and bonus structure. It's not the numbers. It's that they have violated the very definition of leadership. They have violated this deep-seated social contract. We know that they allow their people to be sacrificed so they can protect their own interests. Or worse, they sacrifice their people to protect their own interests. This is what so offends us, not the numbers. Would anybody be offended if we gave a $150 million bonus to Gandhi? How about a $250 million bonus to Mother Teresa? Do you have an issue with that? None at all. None at all. Great leaders would never sacrifice the people to save the numbers. They would seem to sacrifice the numbers to save the people. Bob Chapman, who runs a large manufacturing company in the Midwest called Baril, in 2008, was hit very hard by the recession, and they lost 30% of their orders overnight. Now, a large manufacturing company, this is a big deal, and they could no longer afford their labor. They needed to save $10 million. So, like so many companies today, the board got together and discussed layoffs. And Bob refused. You see, Bob doesn't believe in head counts. Bob believes in heart counts. And it's much more difficult to simply reduce the heart count. And so they came up with a furlough program. Every employee, from secretary to CEO, was required to take 4 weeks of unpaid vacation. They could take it any time they wanted, and they did not have to take it consecutively. But it was how Bob announced the program that mattered so much. He said, it's better that we should all suffer a little than any of us should have to suffer a lot. And morale went up. They saved $20 million. And most importantly, as would be expected, when the people feel safe and protected by the leadership of the organization, the natural reaction is to trust and cooperate. And quite spontaneously, nobody expected, people started trading with each other. Those who could afford it more would trade with those who could afford it less. People would take 5 weeks so that somebody else only had to take 3. Leadership is a choice. It is not a rank. I know many people at the senior levels of organizations who are absolutely not leaders. They are authorities. And we do what they say because they have authority over us. But we would not follow them. And I know many people who are at the bottoms of organizations who have no authority, and they are absolutely leaders. And this is because they have chosen to look after the person to the left of them, and they have chosen to look after the person to the right of them. This is what a leader is.
All right. It's pretty good, right? What do you think of that? What stood out to you? Yeah. Security? What about it?
If we feel safe, just like off your face, like walking around campus, walking pairs, right? They're walking individually. Like cages, they walk with someone. They'll watch your back and watch their back.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of trust in leadership relationships. People that you want to follow them because you trust them, right? You trust them to do right by you, to do right by the organization that you're in, and to let you be part of this organization. I think trust is an unnamed but often underestimated characteristic of leadership, and it's essential when you're working towards social change, even something as simple as volunteering, that there's trust built within the group that you're working towards. Yeah.
Compromise? I like how the example that he gave us was that the CEO was actually being reasonable with the employee and with the executive. Rather than just letting people know, he made a compromise with all of us to just give a little bit back.
Yeah, compromise. Everybody pitched in a little bit. And I think the second CEO of the manufacturing company is a perfect example of servant leadership. They both are, but this in particular, he made a very drastic decision that a lot of other CEOs would have completely laughed at. A lot of people did. And said that I am choosing to invest in my people, and we are all in this together. And he took himself out of that authoritarian role and put himself on the level with all of his employees, and they made something great happen because of it. Anything else? Any other comments? Oh, where? Yeah, sorry.
It stood out to me when we talked about we only follow just the position.
Yeah.
And that's true when it comes to a lot of doctor roles or policeman roles. They're not in there. Generally, not everyone's in there for the fact they want to help people. They're in there because of the benefits that they gain from it. There's a lot of doctors who can heal you, but they have no people skills, and they can really care less about you.
Sure.
There's a lot of people who care about the profit more about the individual, and that's what makes a lot of people lack those leadership skills.
Yeah, absolutely. Your investment and the care that you show is really important. How many of you would love to go to a doctor who treated you terribly and you didn't know if they were good at their job? Would you choose to go to that doctor? No, right? That'd be terrible. It'd be a terrible experience. But if you still didn't know if they were a good doctor, I mean, they're at a hospital, so they got a degree, right? They have some level of qualification. And they invested themselves in you and treated you well and acted like they cared about what happened to you, you're going to choose that doctor every time, right? All right. Well, we're going to skip over this, but pause, just a recommendation. I highly recommend this book, The Student Leadership Challenge. It's a really quick read, and it's really easy. If you are familiar with it, then great. If you're not, then I really recommend that you get it and read through it, because it's an amazing book about leadership, and really talks about servant leadership and investment in organizations. Okay. And now we're going to get a little philosophical, and I have a little bit of a story to read to you, and then we're going to talk about it. It's called Babies in the River. All right. And I'm going to hold this and I'm going to read it just to make sure that I get everything right. All right. So, once upon a time,